I'm all right, yeah, a bit sore. It's a game of footy though, so I'm better than a couple of boys at the moment. Yeah, we'll be fine come Saturday.
Not looking good for Daniel Rich.
No, it doesn't look great. Yeah, you can only hope. Scans might show something else. So physios have been wrong in the past. It'd be nice if they're wrong this time, but I mean, we've had a couple of doctors, physios look at it, and it's not promising. But I know we'll know more. A couple of hours. I think he's just taken off now to go get the scan. So
Probably quite a while on the sidelines, though. How big a loss would he be?
yeah, big loss. Yeah, he is. Obviously an experienced player, leadership, but just having a bloke that can kick the ball like he does in your team. We probably lack a little bit of skill, so he really provides that for us. His penetrating kick, he can break the lines, get over the midfield and get into the forward line quick. His run and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you do. Of course, it's going to be a big loss. Give someone an opportunity though to take that role and step up. So it's disappointing for him and the team, but it opens the door for someone else.
How's he doing? Is he pretty down?
He's a bit up. He's still upbeat at the moment. I'm sure once that news comes through, if it is that way, it will hit him for a while. So we're going to make sure we're there to support him and help him through it in whatever way we can. But it is important as a leader of the footy club. You still, try and stay upbeat when you can, especially when you walk into the footy club and help out in any way you can. I'm sure he will.
Who would you see sort of stepping into his role?
Oh, you've got a couple of young guys. You imagine Harwood will come back into the team. Roe Buick as well. But you've got your young kids. Sam May's been playing a bit deeper forward, so you might imagine he might come back upfield a bit. James Ace will play a full game probably next week. Just keep getting games into those kind of players. Louis Taylor. It's all you need. You just try and get minutes into those guys and fast track their experience.
What about just for the general psyche of the club, Jed? Like potentially losing one of your best players. What does that do to the mood, particularly after the loss on the
Oh, I don't think it changes the mood in any way. You're probably more disappointed for him personally than you really think about the team in any way. Hopefully the players can, move forward quick, and I'm sure they will. We've got another big game coming up this week with Port, who have been really, playing really well, and obviously lost yesterday. But it's important that we move on and try and work out where we need to improve, which quite a few areas at the moment. But get on with business and just get stuck into training.
It was always going to be a tough start to the year, but having that loss to the Suns, where does it really leave you? Where you need to go?
Oh, we've got a lot to work on. We knew the first 2 weeks were going to be really hard, and we probably thought, if you can be competitive those first two, get to Gold Coast, and you probably think it's a winnable game. But the other two, you're going in definitely not favourites for sure. So, but they played good footy. We got beaten inside. I think negative 40 contested ball or something like that. So when you're that far behind, getting first hands on the ball, it's tough. But no, we got beaten on the outside as well. So we've got a bit of thinking to do. A lot of our senior core aren't in great form. So it's about just working hard at the training track and try and get those blokes back in form, and hopefully can lead in to this weekend.
Thinking to do, does that also convert to changing game plan at all?
I don't think so. Nah, I don't actually. I think pre-season we're able to implement the game plan really well, and I don't think we've been able to do that as well. So the game plan doesn't change. You don't get 3 weeks in after training it for a whole pre-season and think, oh, hang on, no, throw it all out the window and start again. You go backwards a lot further than you will forward. So the game plan's fine. We've proved in the pre-season that it works. We know it works. We just got to implement it. So it comes down to players to get that done. Obviously, opposition have something to say about that as well, but we've got to work harder to get through that and get what we want.
Why did you think you were so poor in that contested area where you probably hadn't shown that in the first?
Yeah, not sure. No, I'm not. I don't know. Training's been the same, so whether they were just a bit more ready than what we were, it's hard to say. So it looked like we lost a fair bit of run come second half as well. So I don't know why the boys looked tired or if they were tired. They've got a fantastic midfield. So, and they've proved that for quite a few years now. The midfield is their core group, and then they've been able to build around that the last couple of years. So we were just beaten inside early, and then didn't really gain any ground after that.
I guess you're waiting on some more news this afternoon on Dan Merritt with the
Yeah.
match review panel. Like, it doesn't probably look good for him either.
No,
Your thoughts on that?
no, yeah. Without saying too much, you've got to be careful these days. But I mean, it's if you make contact to the head, which looks like he has, it's going to be tough. So I mean, he's missed weeks last year as well, so probably got a few carryover points there as well. So you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully he's fine, but you don't know. And as I said before, you probably, if he's out, whether you bring another tall in, we've been a bit taller down back already, so whether you bring another small in, Ryan Harwood might come back in his shoulders pretty good. But yeah, it is a big loss. He's your rock down back. So, but once again, we've got the players that can fill the role and they can take the position. So if Matt Maguire comes back in, he's proved that he can play the position. But yeah, he's a loss. Hopefully it's only a 1 or 2 weeker and not a 4 or 5 weeker. So
It's a bit annoying or disappointing that it's been Rocky and looks like Rog. That'll be the first 3 weeks that have.
I think anyone that gets suspended is getting pushed over here. Anyone that gets suspended is it's disappointing. So no matter if you're first game or 200 games into the club, so no matter how experienced you are, you're obviously playing seniors for a reason. So you're going to be a big loss to the team. But hopefully we can got the players to fill the role.